Today we're diving into an epic power ballad that helped define the 80s and remains one of the most popular songs of the past 5 decades. This song has it all: soaring vocals, theatrical production, and a bizarre music video that's pure classic MTV. Let's unpack this karaoke constant, this pop culture juggernaut, a song that was covered by countless artists and included in endless movies and TV shows. Today's featured song, Bonnie Tyler's Total Eclipse of the Heart. First, let's talk about the Welsh wonder herself, Bonnie Tyler. Born in Wales in 1951, Bonnie grew up listening to top 40 radio and fell in love with the music of Tina Turner and Janis Joplin. By the mid-70s, Bonnie was performing every night in a local Swansea club called the Townsman. She scored her first international hit with Lost in France. Note how she doesn't yet have that trademark rasp in her voice that we all now know. That's because shortly after releasing Lost in France, Bonnie underwent surgery to remove nodules on her vocal cords, but didn't follow doctor's orders to rest her voice following the surgery, resulting in permanent damage that may just have cemented her success by creating a voice like no other. Check out the difference in her voice just 1 year later on her even more successful hit, It's a Heartache. At this time, Bonnie's style was pretty much soft adult contemporary with a bit of a country twang, reminiscent of Olivia Newton-John, and Bonnie wanted to move into more of a rock direction. After hearing Meat Loaf's debut 1977 Bat Out of Hell album, Bonnie became obsessed with its operatic bombast and begged her label to put her in touch with the man responsible for this lavish concept album. That man was Jim Steinman, the mad genius behind the majority of Meat Loaf's hits, composing not only all of Bat Out of Hell, but also the hit singles I'd Do Anything for Love and 2 Out of 3 Ain't Bad. In his career, Jim Steinman has written and produced songs adding up to nearly 200 million records sold. Steinman was celebrated for his Wagnerian compositions that pushed popular rock and roll into the realms of opera and musical theater. In fact, Steinman's background was in musical theater, which we'll return to later. So, in the early 80s, after a lot of cajoling, Jim Steinman agreed to listen to some of Bonnie's tapes and was impressed by what he heard. They met and he played her the CCR classic, Have You Ever Seen the Rain, to see if their musical tastes were simpatico. It turns out not only did they immediately bond over the song, but Bonnie even covered it for that first album they did together. Well, Bonnie and Jim set to work on the album that would become Faster Than the Speed of Night, for which Jim dusted off a theater piece he started working on many years earlier called Vampires in Love. This was supposed to be a musical theater adaptation of Nosferatu about vampires in love. And Total Eclipse of the Heart was the big show-stopping love duet at the center of the story. With Bonnie's husky voice, Jim found the perfect vessel for the song's soaring, operatic exploration of the dark side of obsessive love and yearning. The turmoil in her voice works perfectly with the urgency of her delivery. As far as the music, Total Eclipse boasts some of the best supporting players in the industry, including Rick Derringer on guitar, Roy Bittan on piano, Larry Fast on synth, and Max Weinberg on drums. But we also have to talk about one of the unsung heroes of this track. Rory Dodd. His haunting voice provides the famous foil to Bonnie in this duet. Dodd was a frequent collaborator with Steinman, lending his vocals to many of his projects, including Meat Loaf's albums. He also holds the distinction of performing on 3 top 10 hits on the Billboard charts at the same time for 3 weeks in a row, for Billy Joel's Uptown Girl, Total Eclipse, and the Jim Steinman-written Air Supply song Making Love Out of Nothing at All. Total Eclipse is classic Steinman, a slow build to an explosive chorus, with layers of instrumentation creating a wall of sound somehow reminiscent of Phil Spector, but also paving the way for glam metal. It's a formula he perfected with Meat Loaf and brought to new heights of popularity with Tyler's unique vocals. He would repeat this success with Bonnie's next album, Secret Dreams and Forbidden Fire, which includes this unforgettable 80s classic forever cemented in American film history. Speaking of film, let's talk about Total Eclipse's insane music video. Directed by Russell Mulcahy, the video is a fever dream of gothic imagery. Mulcahy was a pioneer of music videos, having directed classics like Duran Duran's Hungry Like the Wolf and the very first video ever played on MTV, the Buggles' Video Killed the Radio Star. The subject of the Total Eclipse video seems to be Bonnie's encounters with various inhabitants of a boys' boarding school that apparently has forgotten to pay its electricity bills. These include flying bright-eyed choir boys, leather-clad greasers doing a proto-Macarena, ninjas, members of a secret society, angels. Basically, it's an insane bacchanal with loads of cheesy symbolism that is somehow so bad it's good, and totally justified by the melodrama of the song. At the end of the video, Bonnie shows up to the school in the morning looking like she's been hired as their newest teacher, getting introduced to the very boys who filled her fever dreams the night before. Someone's about to spend a lot of time in HR meetings. The video was shot in a Gothic-style former asylum in Surrey, England. The location was so eerie in real life that even the guard dogs refused to enter certain rooms where electric shock treatments were once administered. Total Eclipse of the Heart topped charts worldwide, becoming Tyler's biggest hit. It's been covered countless times, used in films and TV shows, and remains a karaoke favorite to this day. The official video has been watched 1.1 billion times on YouTube, and the song has been played almost 1 billion times on Spotify. Every time a notable eclipse occurs in the real world, the song experiences a resurgence in popularity. In particular, the song reached #1 on the iTunes Top Songs chart in the US during the solar eclipse of April 8, 2024. In the following week, Tyler re-entered the Billboard Artist 100 chart at number 79 and the US Digital Song Sales chart at number 5.
Every time the eclipse comes, as I say, everyone all over the world, they play Total Eclipse of the Heart.
So, the next time you hear those iconic opening piano chords, remember, you're not just listening to a song, you're experiencing a piece of rock history born from the mind of a theatrical genius and brought to life by a powerhouse vocalist. Thanks for watching Strange Device.